fresh Apogee logo animation. And Emberheart Games. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. So greetings and welcome to an LGR thing about Crystal Caves HD. Yeah, this is a thing. You know, of all of the surprises of 2020, this has got to be one of the most pleasant and one of the most unexpected. Well, I don't know about that. There's a lot of unexpected things this year, but this is one of the more pleasantly unexpected. Let's just put it that way. Crystal Caves, man. This game in particular is so special to me. It was my very first computer game, really my first game I think I ever played as a very youngin'. And it was certainly the first game that I owned a physical copy of. So it's very, very special to me. And so to see it get an HD treatment of sorts is just fantastic. So yeah, let's just dive into it. So it's very, very familiar in terms of just the way it looks and feels, but it's got a lot of modern updates, which are absolutely fascinating. We're gonna go over most of them. And yeah, if you can't tell, this is not a scripted video or a full review necessarily. I had to share this. I'm excited about it. I've got a early release code here that Apogee was very kind to send over, and I've been testing it out for a little bit, and it's awesome. And there are some changes, for sure, that are a little interesting. You got game tips, you got music, you got Rumble, playtime, you can configure the controls, well, you can always do that. Achievements, Steam Workshop support, you can make your own daggum maps, there's leaderboards, there's a 4th episode. Oh my word, this is crazy to me. Anyway, I don't know how many people are really gonna be as excited about this as someone who literally grew up and cut all of their gaming teeth on such a thing. But anyway, I'm psyched. Okay, so let me just start it up. We're gonna start with the first episode, which was originally the Shareware episode back in 1991. Trouble with Twibbles, delightful Star Trek reference, as is most of this game. And yes, you can select difficulty now, which is another intriguing change. Normal is just normal. That's how it was back in the day, which is pretty darn tough. Easy makes it a little easier in terms of, I think you get more health, more shots, things like that. And hard, of course, just makes it harder if for some reason you want to do that. No. So we're going to do normal. Yeah. Look at this. Ship's log, stardate 2121.04, personal entry, record on. See, it's the same story, the same things, it's just slightly updated a little bit. And so, yeah, this is an intriguing idea for an HD remake remaster to me, because it's not so much that it's completely redoing everything with like hand-drawn, high-resolution 4K artwork. You can tell it's still very pixelated. But that's the idea. It's pretty much the same game, just with kind of a VGA overhaul. It reminds me a lot of what Sierra was doing in the early 90s when they updated their adventure game engine. And they were taking games like Leisure Suit Larry and such and taking it from EGA and moving it on to VGA. And changing just a little bit here and there in terms of smoothing out some controls and bits of gameplay, and music and sound were tweaked. That's pretty much what this is, but otherwise it's the exact same game. It feels the same, it plays largely the same. And other than a few minor tweaks like this danger sign, for instance, it's got straight text, it's not all wonky looking like it was in the original Crystal Caves. Everything is pretty much spot on. Oh yeah, and Milo down there, he actually, look at that, you got a little animation of an idle animation. He just sort of looks directly at you, which I find disconcerting. Look at that face. But anyway, yeah, he moves his arms when he jumps, little things. But otherwise, it plays just the same. Let's just go into the first level, or what I consider to be the first level. You can play this in all kinds of different ways. But yeah, as you can tell, I mean, it is just, if you're familiar with the original Crystal Caves anyway, it's exactly the same. You got the same like little running animation there. Like, it is pretty much just pixel perfect and updated with more colors. And that's about it. Which is fine by me, man. I wouldn't want too much changed about this game anyway. But Again, I find this a fascinating choice. What? It shot me as... Okay. Wow, that was just horrible luck. It shot me as soon as I jumped up in front of the gun. Actually, no, I guess that's just how it works. Now that I think about it. But anyway. So yeah, another fascinating thing is the way that this actually started. From what I can tell, it's the developer at... The developer at Emberheart Games made kind of like a fan-made mock-up of sorts of their idea of what a Crystal Caves update would look like, with better graphics but keeping to the same aspect ratio and all that. And just tweeted it out. And George Broussard and some of the folks at Apogee and whatnot, they saw it and they were like, okay, that's pretty darn impressive. Apparently they just reached out to him and they're like, hey, do you want to, partner and make like an actual, an official Crystal Caves remake? I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing here. Okay. So anyways, from my understanding, that's just kind of how it happened. It's just like a fan-made like piece of art, just like pixel art that turned into an actual product, which is so cool. And then it's just evolved into a thing from there. And yeah, this sucks. I should have killed the snake over there. This is what happens when you're talking and recording gameplay at the same time. Whatever. All right. And so yeah, here we are. Game that plays exactly the same as it always did. Everything's in the same spot. All the enemies and pickups, health, points, it's all the same. If you're playing a normal mode anyway. So, like I said, there are tweaks. The different difficulties are definitely one of the larger tweaks. If you play on the different difficulties anyway. If you're just playing a normal here, it's the same dang game. With like some very other minor things going on in the background that aren't necessarily going to be obvious unless you really, really intimately are familiar with this. So, yeah. There's actually... I don't necessarily know if I can show it, but there's a really cool a bug report document that I've been privy to, I suppose, just playing the early copy of this and seeing all the different little tiny tweaks that are being made under the hood. Some I've contributed to and some other testers have contributed to, and just that the developer is aware of, and they're making little differences too. Just making sure that certain aspects of the game work correctly that might not, and little changes like see the edge of the screen just turned green there. Now that's something that you would normally see with the overscan area on an actual original DOS computer playing this on a CRT. The outside of edge of the game would change whenever you get all the gems, letting you know, or the crystals, letting you know that the level is done. On things like DOSBox, unless there was specific versions of DOSBox that show the overscan area, you don't see that while emulating the original Crystal Caves. In fact, I think the Crystal Caves that's on Steam doesn't show that, if I recall, because that's just using DOSBox and just kind of a quickly slapped together little package. I might be wrong there, but anyway, there is a version of the original Crystal Caves on Steam. Amusingly, another thing I just noticed while I was installing this the other day was the original Crystal Caves on Steam is 800 something megabytes as a download, and this is far, far less. I don't know exactly what's going on there. I know that it includes emulators and some Mac OS files and stuff, and a manual PDF, but I don't know, because once it's actually installed, it's 15 megabytes, which is still way larger than the original Crystal Caves, which could fit the whole thing on a single floppy disk. Anyway, I just think it's amusing that the download for Crystal Caves non-HD is so much larger than the download for HD, but anyway. So, yeah, this is just Crystal Caves, man. I just wanted to show it. I had to show it. This is awesome. I will definitely be showing it again in the future. It's not out yet, for one thing, so it's supposed to be out in mid-October. I think they're shooting for the 15th at this point. I'm recording this on October 7th. So anyway, I don't exactly plan on doing like a full-on review of just this, but I do plan to cover straight up OG Crystal Caves. Because like I said before, the game is just so darn special to me. And I've got a pretty good collection of Crystal Caves releases that I'd like to show and talk about and just my experiences and such. Another thing I'd like to mention though, in terms of, dang it, in terms of changes, is the music. So I'm not exactly, I don't hate it, okay? It's just very NES style Game Boy 8-bit. It's weird to me. So here's the thing. This is a 1991 PC DOS shareware game, or at least it was. And it never had music. It was a PC speaker only sound type of thing. So that's what you had. Just square waves. And the PC speaker is a single channel. That's what they're hearing for the sound effects here. The jumping and all the little thingies. Single channel, square waves, little internal speaker on your PC, 2 levels of volume output, and that's about it. Beeps and bloops. But this music, this implies some sort of a sound chip, right? And specifically something like the NES A203, which was 5 channels of sound, 16 levels of output, sawtooth, triangle, pulse waveforms, and all that kind of stuff. Very different than pretty much anything that was on the PC at the time. Which is cool. Like, I know they're going for this sort of, like, oh, the what if. What if this got a 8-bit kind of remake? Maybe it would be something like this. It's just, for me, as like a PC geek, it feels weird and slightly out of place. Again, the music, the compositions themselves are fine. I like it. It just doesn't really feel like it fits this particular game, to me anyway. It'd be different if it were like FM synth kind of stuff, which would have been contemporary to 1991 PC shareware games. You got something like the Adlib or the Sound Blaster, any of the compatibles that had a YM3812 or YMF262 and Sound Blaster 16, which would do FM synth, and that'd give you 9 channels, frequency modulation synthesis. Love that card. It was very much used alongside PC speaker sound effects in Apogee games. Word Rescue, Math Rescue, Dark Ages, probably some others I'm not thinking of, where you'd have PC speaker sound effects and Adlib / Sound Blaster, OPL2 or 3 FM synth music alongside it. That to me would work, You could have the exact same tunes, just done in an FM synth style. Or even like MIDI, man, just straight up MIDI would be fine too. But no, you got this NES style thing with the sawtooth, triangle, pulse, square wave mixture noise channel. It's interesting. Now, about the closest argument I could think of would be maybe something like the Creative Music System or the Game Blaster cards. Those were a thing back then. Now, they weren't very popular, but they were a thing. It would have been possible to get somewhat similar music to this on DOS. But even then, that was 12 channels of square wave sound in stereo with 4 noise channels, and you're not going to get this kind of sawtoothy triangle pulsy thing with the bass lines and stuff that you're getting here. It's a nitpick, I know it's a nitpick. And again, nothing against the composer or the fact that they included music. They didn't have to include music, and they did. That's awesome. Resources went to that. I just kinda wish it were Adlib. Or, something else. Nah. That's just me, though. And maybe a few of you. Otherwise, whatever. It's cool. It adds something to the game that wasn't there before. And there's a lot of little additions like that. I could also say that, Steam Workshop support wasn't around back then, so it shouldn't have that either. Yeah, it's just a weird reimagining that's just an intriguing mix of old and new. So hey, music is part of it. I accept that. And I am done talking about music now. Although I am going to turn it off just for a moment, just to let you know kind of how different it sounds, or more familiar, perhaps, to those of you that are old school Crystal Caves players. Hear how silent that is? And all you hear is just the PC speaker. Which, of course, is not the PC speaker in this case. That's another thing I want to commend them on, is not updating the sound effects. You don't have to. These are embedded in my psyche, my brain, the deepest parts of my being. These particular bleeps and bloops and crunchy noises. Listen to that. That's the sounds of my... they're my dreams. It's my childhood. Oh, crap. Too close to him. Come on, go back to sleep, you rolling thingy. So yeah, I'm glad that they kept the PC speaker sounds, and they're just like, they're just like recordings that play. But they're pretty cool. The fact that they sound as they should, for the most part. You're not getting like the reverberation of an actual little speaker. Hey, I got an arachnophobic achievement. That's weird. Achievements in Crystal Caves. What is this modern world? That's neat, though. Oh, I'm just so happy that something like this is one of the most niche DOS games in my mind. I just don't see a lot. Like, I know a lot of people played it or whatever. You got memories of it, but it's not exactly one of those Apogee platformers that gets any kind of mainstream attention, for lack of a better way to say it. The people that like it really like it. And that's exactly who this is made for. So, yeah. This is just so cool. I really like the way it looks, It's got kind of a muted color palette. But again, it reminds me of the VGA remakes and stuff that you would have seen back in the day, the 256 color things. Where it's, okay, obviously it gives it a little bit of a different feel because it is a completely different palette. But it looks good, man. This is so cool. And I haven't actually played the new episode yet. I'm really intrigued to check that out. Because, yeah, new Crystal Caves episode 2020. Like, in all the 2020 bingo cards. Who would have ever guessed a brand new, officially sanctioned Crystal Caves? From Apogee, no less. And yes, this is an Apogee release. This is not through, the 3D Realms folks. Apogee and 3D Realms kind of went their own ways in some intriguing ways some years back. So this Apogee is still Texas-based as far as I know. And 3D Realms is in Denmark. So, yeah, separate kind of things, but they're still kind of connected. And obviously you got some overlap in terms of the IPs and history, and that's a whole thing. But yeah, from Apogee, new Crystal Caves. Like, what in the world? Ugh, neat. Speaking of which, oh yeah, and you can save your game. We'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, let's just go back to the main menu. Just check out one of the new levels. The Final Frontier. Again, keeping with the good old Star Trek references that are all the way through here. Oh, he's got the upgraded ship now. After living at high on the hog these past few decades, from the fortune he made on his chain of burger joints, he finally got his burger joints. Milo booked an extended galactic vacation on board the stellar cruise ship Vigier that promised an exciting trip to the far-flung reaches of the known galaxy, plus a visit to the fabled and mysterious Badlands Triangle, where many ships have been reported missing. Ooh. It just keeps the story going. Look at that big old ship Milo's got now. I'm so happy for him. Apparently it's like way later, though. Is he going to be an old man now? No, but, Okay, let's just go ahead and get into it. All sorts of story, man. The Crystal Caves lore is going to have to be updated on all the Crystal Caves wikis, as if there are in-depth Crystal Caves wikis. There should be. Anyway. So yeah, Milo does look the same, but look at this. Ooh, it's neat. There's new tiles. There's a new enemy. Oh, this is so exciting. Look at this. Like, as a kid, this would have been like, who am I kidding? Whatever. As now, this is the coolest. New Crystal Caves. Oh, crap. There we go. Ah, ah. Yeah. Okay. So this will be a thing to get back up there. Oh, I'm out of bullets already because this is a new level. I might have screwed this up already. I'm gonna say I did. Just jump in this. That's that. Okay. Ah, man. About the only thing that would make this better, seriously, the only thing, is if this had a proper DOS port. Now, that's asking a little much, I know. I know it is. But if Retro City Rampage 486 exists, then so can Crystal Caves HD. Crystal Caves HD. Did I say Cage? I don't know what I said. I don't know. Maybe someday. It's made in the Unity engine. Probably not very feasible. Whatever. Oh, there's a little... I didn't screw up at all. Well. Ah. Why did I do that? Okay. I had enough this level. I hadn't actually played this one before. Let's go back to the main level. Let's see. What was the one that I played the other day? I think it was this one over here. Yeah. With the birds that take egg dumps. So there's this weird little, like, wormy... Ooh, crap, I almost hit the air thing. Little brown, like, wormy creatures that are in the game now. I don't know if they're in this level or not. I don't remember them being here. But yeah, I think that's like the only new enemy type. But, you know, still, you've got all these different tile sets, different backgrounds and stuff. It adds a whole new feel to the game that wasn't there in episodes 2 and 3 of Crystal Caves, which, dang it. To be honest, I was never particularly fond of. I stuck to episode 1, that was pretty much it. The other two were cool, but it was really just more of the same, over and over and over, extremely brutal, and such. So I like the fact that this adds a couple of new things, new twists here and there in terms of a little bit of new gameplay, a new enemy type. I appreciate it. Again, they didn't have to do this. They could have just straight up done new graphics and called it a day, you know, but they didn't. And I suck at this new level. I suck at all the levels, to be honest. I'm okay at the other ones and episode 1 because I played them religiously and endlessly as a kid. That's all that is. Oh, I was trying to get... there's got to be a level here with the cool new dudes. Oh, there they are. See the little wormy dudes with the noses? They have noses. They're just popping out of walls and stuff. Oh, as if this game wasn't challenging enough. Whoops. Nope. I'm not even sure if they can be killed necessarily without like a power up. Power. Whoops. I'm out of ammo. Now here's a question, right? Is Secret Agent HD on the table too? Ooh, I know that's going to be a thing some folks are going to want now. Because in case you're not aware, that was pretty much just another Crystal Caves. You know, with a whole different skin and everything, but they played pretty much identically. So it'd be really cool to see that get the same treatment as well. And if not, then you know what? Let's go back to the title here. And let's check out the level editor, because it feels like you could create, you know, your own remake of Secret Agent in here, or whatever else. You can just straight up make levels. Good old tile-based levels. So it's pretty fully featured. Look, you got a mouse in Crystal Caves. This is weird, but it's cool. So I don't have any saved maps in here. Yeah, inverse gravity falling rocks, low gravity mode. I can do different music and change the background tiles, just the tile set in general. Let's do something like this. Ooh, pipes and things. You can add some different terrain, like this background terrain, like the purple stiff. Doink, 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 doink. You can make Tetris pieces. Anyway, and tiles. Look at all the tiles. Oh, this is so cool. This is something I dreamed of doing as a kid. Oh my goodness. Do you know how many levels I created for Crystal Caves as a kid that weren't actual real levels? Like I just drew them on paper. So many levels. And I wished that I could create them. This and Commander Keen and Jazz Jackrabbit, like I played them so much and wished there was more, right? And I only had the shareware versions of them, so I was always like, I need more. And here you go, you can create more. Absolute dream come true. Seriously, seriously, seriously. All right, let's add a Milo in here. He's over here, so we'll start up here. We can add, I've always liked these ice blocks because you can shoot them. And they're neat. You gotta shoot them to get past the drug sign. Let's see, we'll make this a simple one. Exit over here. We'll add big old hammer right here. No, we'll put it, well, that's gonna be kind of brutal. Put it right here. All right, let's get some crystals in here. We need a gun, of course. A couple of those to shoot through everything. We'll put a power pellet down here. There's a little randomly generating thingies. We'll put some crystals of different types. Look at this. I'm making my own Crystal Caves level, guys. It's amazing. I don't know why I'm placing them in like columns patterns, but here we are. Okay, that's those. Let's place an enemy or two. Let's place a schneck. And a little minecart that's stuck in, no, that'd be stupid. Put a spider right here. And one of these little doohickeys. And like a way to trap them in there, like that. Let's try it out. I think I got a working level. Well, the hammer's going to go all the way to the top of the screen, and so is the spider. Let's fix that. There, that's the thing. Just to quickly get that working. There we go. Look at that. So I got the power pellet. Yeah, dude. Making levels in Crystal Caves. It's that easy. Man, I made that little tricky thing down there with the little thingy going by. What are those anyway? The little bouncing guy down there? As a kid, I always imagined it as like a weird little, like eyeballs or a bone or something. I don't know. Ah! Perfect health, $50,000. That's so neat. Like, dude, look at that. Oh, it goes on. You can make your own whole full like set of episodes. We're gonna save this map as I made this. And we can publish it to Steam if we want. I don't know if I can do that right now because the game isn't quite out yet. But anyway, this is Crystal Caves. It's so cool. that's pretty much it. This exists. I don't know how much it's going to cost yet. Don't even know for sure when it's going to be out. I think October 15th. But anyway, highly recommend it. Look at this. I'm number 1 in the leaderboard, guys. No, I'm not. Look at it. There's other people trying it out. So, of course, Bart has the top score. So DOS Gamer T or DOS Gamer. Anyway, some YouTuber folks and some other people in the retro community have been testing this out alongside me. It's awesome. The fact that they have been doing that, you know, actively seeking out feedback from fans of it, people that are familiar with it, and just folks that are generally cool about providing support and feedback or whatever, just making this as good as it can possibly be. And it's already improved a good little bit, really, since I've been playing it for, you know, off and on for a couple weeks or something. So, yeah. Seriously, the music is about the only thing that I'm like conflicted on, but who cares? You can turn it off if you really don't like it. Like I said, I like it. Just kind of wish it was ad-lib. That's it. Everything else is pretty awesome. This is so neat. Oh. That's all I want to say. Thanks to Emberheart Games, Apogee, everybody involved with this in the past, you know, making the original Crystal Caves, Frank Madden and such. The fact that this exists, I'm happy. Thank you for watching.